Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our Tamiya TT-01 Race Build from RC Empire. In this episode, we will be taking a look and fitting the motor of choice for this build, the Tamiya Sport Tuned 540 motor, which is one of only 4 motors you can run in this series, including the Tamiya Standard motor, the Torque Tuned motor, and the HPI Saturn motor, which is great because neither of them are particularly expensive and you get a pretty evenly matched field of cars out on the track. So we'll unbox this in a second. And something I don't think you've seen yet, but we'll do a full unboxing with measurements, fitting and calibration in the next video, is our chosen speed controller. So we're going to start off by removing all the old hardware, and luckily everything is held on with Velcro, so this shouldn't be too bad. We've got our receiver, still the old one, which we'll change later on, and our Hobbywing 60 amp ESC, which we'll just pull out like that and pull the terminals out of the motor for now. So with all that out the way, we can get on and remove the Speed Passion brushless motor. And removing the motor is very similar to what we had on the TT-02, except you've also got this little 2-fingered clamp on the top here. So remove the screws. And there you can see our current gear setup, which is currently running a 19-tooth pinion and a 60-tooth spur gear. And here is our old motor, which still works fine. Now one thing you can see which is different to the TT-02 is that there is no screw holding the motor in from the bottom of the chassis. So the motor mount will just pop out like that and is held in by the top cover. And what we might do, it might be an overkill, but now we've got a spare ESC and motor combo, we may just stick it into the amazing Axial SMT-10 once we've upgraded the drivetrain. But that will all be in a coming series. What we've also picked up is the gearing, which we'll be using for the race series, and we won't actually fit it in this video because I just want to see how changing only the motor will change the car's power characteristics. So we'll do a little test run with the new motor and ESC only, and then come back and fit the new gearing. So now we've removed the grub screw and removed the pinion. First of all, we can see it's got a little 19T stamped on the back of it. And just remove the motor mount with the 2 screws. Now similar to the TT-02, you should align the motor up to the correct holes depending on the gearing you'll be using, and there should be a chart to tell you which holes to use with the gears. So make sure you double check that to ensure your gears are meshed correctly. Now onto our new motor. As you can see, it comes in this really cool cardboard box with some specs on the back. On the right there, I think you've got your pinion to spur gear table. And on the left you can see a power, RPM to torque graph. And we may pick up a torque tuned motor and a stock motor later on to do some comparisons with the TT-01, as we've now got a brushed ESC. But I believe this is a 23 turn motor, although I've also heard some people saying it's a 27 turn motor with advanced timing, and that the sports tuned motor was different for different markets, for example Europe versus America. But if we open up the box, carefully not to rip it, inside we have this simple little cardboard protection frame. and this amazing super cool looking black can, which is so simple and the source of years and years of fun for generations. I can't imagine just how many of these simple motors are sold around the world and bring so much fun with them. And just because they're brushed does not mean they're slow at all. And quickly you can see here a little comparison with the Speed Passion one. But that's it. This will be our motor for the coming race series. And a lot of people do actually break in their brushed motors, and we will do this and maybe show it in another video. But for now we'll just fit it in. And we will also be doing a maintenance video during the race series after one of the races, because the motors and the entire car picks up a lot of dust and dirt, which all wears away at the moving components, including the bearings, the gears, the motors. And the great thing with this TT-01 is that the motor is very accessible and easy to remove. So if we stick the motor mount back on first, and this time I will put a tiny dab of Loctite on the motor mount screws. And then stick the pinion on, making sure it aligns to the spur gear. Now I will also put a bit of Loctite on the grub screw, because I've had this loosen on the TT-02, but you only need a tiny little bit. Some people put tons of it on and you can't get it off later, so just a dab. Tighten it up and that's it. Put your cover back on. And we're good to go, ready for our new brushed speed controller, which we'll be fitting in the next video, and we'll be seeing the motor in action for the first time. But that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this quick little video and maybe seen a few new things. Please rate and subscribe and watch out for our next videos. Thank you for watching and see you soon.